Welcome to DEMO10, a show in which we give InsurTech vendors 10 minutes of our undivided attention, and in return, they tantalise us with a tip-top 10 of titillating tech to tempt us to telephone. More T's in it than a development underwriter on site. Broken humour, so... My guest today, he was so keen to come on the show, he's travelled 8,500 miles to be here. Slightly awkward, because I had to tell him that actually that sofa's not real and this studio's digital. He could have done it from South Africa, but I felt for his PA. Flogging was the only option. Anyway, joining me today, he is the Nelson to Andre Symes' Winnie. It is co-CEO of Genasys, Craig Olivier. Craig, welcome.
Thank you, Ed. Very good to be with you. Always like coming through to London town, so better than doing it from South Africa.
That's good. Well, I'm glad that we could give you that opportunity. I'm just sorry you had 8,500 miles and we couldn't put you on the lovely fake sofa. Apologies. But you know the score today. You're going to have 10 minutes, and you've got 10 minutes, frankly, to knock my socks off. And at the moment, they're about calf level, so we're going to need some serious force. But before we do that, Casey, bring in the timer of terror. And can we have 10 minutes on that clock, please? And without further ado, Craig Olivier, it is over to you.
Thank you, Ed. So yeah, I thought what I actually want to do today is maybe a bit different to some of the other demos. Is do it a bit more real time and kind of showcase a lot of the Genasys platform around its dynamicness around being able to build product at pace. And I was thinking of using the great Evermore brand and in real time embedding insurance into the Evermore website. So Ed, what insurance is top of mind at the moment for you?
Equine insurance. No, I'm joking. Don't panic. Cyber.
All right, let's go with cyber. So I think firstly, what we did is we grabbed, essentially grabbed your existing website, look and feel, just grabbed all those resources and put it onto one of our demo servers. So as you can see, it's exactly your website. And then to give you an idea, the Genasys platform is very driven around no-code or low-code capabilities to configure product. So we've set Evermore Digital up as a customer. We can do things like upload logos, add notes, attach files, and make various different products available. We've built out around 350 pre-configured product templates, and that's across all different lines of business. So let's use cyber as you mentioned. Obviously, there's motor and commercial and all the various different bits. But essentially, the way we go about configuring product is defining products, defining claims, configurations, and each of those products could then have multiple different risk types or sections, as we call them. So in this case, we've got cyber and potentially different bundled options. Most of the configuration then happens in our question designer, where essentially what we end up doing is going and defining what questions we want to ask, various different properties about those questions, the order those questions are represented in. So as you can see, really low code, very business focused. This includes rule designers where we can define different conditions, different actions that hide and show fields, enforce underwriting rules, validation rules. And this includes going further to be able to, on the different sections themselves, define pricing with different rate versions and how we go about pricing those different covers. So I think, as you can see, really simple zero code capability of configuring a product. So I've used one of my standard examples of cyber insurance that can be configured really easily. And by then taking your existing look and feel from your website, essentially what I'm going to do behind the scenes is and what we do is make use of what we call a widget, and maybe a bit technical, but I'm going to go into your existing website and I'm going to drop in 2 lines of code, or let's call it 3 lines of code. So basically adding a div into your existing website, defining some Google tracking reference capabilities, and our API reference. Very simply, saving that, and let's go and refresh your website. Behind the scenes, what that piece of code is that we've just dropped in is going to do then is inject that full dynamic product quote and bind journey that you saw in our build configuration. So from the build bit, you can obviously go and add questions, change rules, and that is dynamically then rendered with your inherent website's look and feel. This is really configurable, so you can define what different stages you want up until price, what stages you want after price. So let's quickly go and capture some of the questions. All the validation rules are built in. Things like email addresses together with mobile numbers are all validated. And we do also have quite a fair amount of data enrichment capabilities. So you could be calling out to sanction validations or company's house vehicle registration lookups. As an example, postcodes, we support global postcode lookups, ability to go and then just grab the postcode and then move across to actual bits of cover. So in this specific product configuration, I can start defining what my profession is. As you can see, hide and show rules around sub questions. Let's say we have 25 staff and I'm looking for £25,000 worth of cover. Could have various different additional covers, so the ability to bundle those covers together. And I would then get a price. So that basically took all of that underwriting information, pushed it through our pricing engine, came back with a price. I could go and revise that or accept it. And then various different payment methods supported. So we've done integrations to a multitude of different payment gateways, but even things like Bitcoin payments, direct debit collections. But let's go with Visa. Move on from there. It'll give me a full breakdown of automatic IPT calculations, total premiums, commission calculations, which can be distributed back to the distribution channel. Let's go and select my cover start date. So I wanted to incept today. Go and accept that. And in this example, this is pre-integrated now into Stripe as an example. So I can then go and capture my card details, and I'm just using the standard default. And on payment, which is actually hitting the payment gateway, coming back with an authentication token, which means that we've actually successfully collected the premium. This policy is now incepted, zero touch from an MGA or a broker, and it's allowed a full direct-to-consumer journey end to end. The platform does also then support the ability to drive referrals. So, based on some of the questions that were asked, it could trigger a workflow behind the scenes for second level underwriting to go and confirm the covers before that policy incepts. The system behind the scenes auto fulfills, so it sends me a welcome text message with my policy number, how I interact with the customer, with the insurance company, as well as welcome letters, policy schedules. So really simple. I think really what I want to then go into, and hopefully that will make sense. So really adding 2 lines of code to your website, I can deploy that dynamic quote and bind journey. But let's jump back to the configuration tool, and let me go and actually modify that. So let's ask an additional question. So Ed, what question would make sense to ask in this kind of journey?
Have you ever had cyber insurance before?
Yeah, let's do that, because then you could even go further and say, load premiums. And as we go and add those questions, we can define the different types, so support various different types of questions. But let's say it's a lookup, which is a drop-down option. Let's go and capture, I'm going to just use a yes-no drop-down, which is great because then it does force the user to capture it and go and create that question. So really 2 clicks, I've got this additional question captured. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it under the same heading as the first questions that were asked in that journey, and go and update that field. So really, as you can see, 2 clicks, and that gives you the ability then to have modified that existing product configuration in this dynamic model, and then be able to jump straight back to your existing website. I haven't changed anything in the background. I'm still publishing that same product via those 2 lines of code I added. So let's do a refresh on that. And as simple as that, hopefully we should now be asked for the additional question. So I guess just to showcase the ability to really have a dynamic product model, link pricing to that, and be able to configure these products at pace, and modify those journeys. I think the other great thing about it is this whole widget deployment type of model allows you to target embedded or affinity-based deployment methods. So, as Evermore Digital, if you wanted to sell your cyber product now into potentially other distribution channels, the barrier to entry is really low, because all they need to do is, instead of integrating to our full REST API, they could integrate direct, or they could add those 2 lines of code to their existing website, and then you could distribute commission back to those different distribution channels. So it really does have the ability to...
I'm sorry. The alarms are going off in the studio. That does mean I have to cut you short, unfortunately, Craig. I feel really rude whenever I've got to do that, but unfortunately, it is what the game is all about. But thank you very much. I can't quite get my head around the fact that you managed to deploy a product on my website in 3 lines of code. Can you explain a bit more about what that is to a layman like me? How can we just drop 3 lines into the website and it works?
Yeah, so it's the technical term is a widget. So it's almost like on your contact us page, you want to deploy a Google map. So really what's happening behind the scenes is we're injecting a dynamic application into the host website. And the drive behind that was, to reduce the barrier to entry, and have the products completely centrally controlled from the Genasys core platform.
And how easy is it to integrate other kind of third-party applications, data, and the like into the system?
So, I think a brilliant question, because that's often a lot of the pain points in implementations, is to be able to integrate different data enrichment services. So, with us focusing on having a very dynamic and mature API that supports webhook capability as well, it really is simple for us to integrate into different third-party solutions. We've also taken an ecosystem approach, so we've got around 30 pre-integrated capabilities that we can offer back to our customers. But adding new ones, it really also follows a very no-code integration capability using an iPaaS solution leveraging our API.
And we talked about cyber liability on that first example, which is a relatively simple product. What other product lines do you typically have in the system?
So yeah, we've look. I think firstly we focused on being product agnostic, as you could see from the dynamic product build capability. So currently we're supporting all the P&C lines of business, including motor, personal lines, and commercial. We're supporting life. We're supporting medical, group schemes, Lloyd's cover holder capabilities, various niche covers. Really, what we're trying to do is give our customers the ability to innovate. A lot of insurance products today were designed years ago. Essentially, product agnostic, we support all the various different product lines with a lot of those pre-configured templates that are built into the platform.
And what typically does a Genasys customer look like in terms of profile, size, etc.?
So yeah, target markets, we focus on the slightly lower tier carriers, so tiers 3 downwards, as well as MGAs. The platform really does suit MGAs and being able to innovate and launch product really quickly, as well as InsurTechs that are looking to, not build everything themselves, but leverage a platform that potentially gives them 80% of what they're looking for, but could, then still disrupt the way it's deployed via the digital channels. And we do also see opportunity in the larger carriers where they're looking for greenfield opportunities. They're wanting to try something really fast, so which could run side by side their current core platforms, but be able to do that at pace. And as you could see from the demo, being able to get something out into the market really quickly and tweak and change it as needed based on feedback on sales journeys, etc.
Well, thank you very much. Consider my socks well and truly knocked off. Now, as another Porky Pig said, that's all, folks. If you liked what you saw today, please head over to genasystech.com to see their full stack, cloud-based technology solution for insurers, brokers, and MGAs. I've been Ed Housey. He's been Craig Olivier. We out. Well, you're a glutton for punishment, staying all the way to the end, but I really appreciate it. Now, if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe over here, somewhere. Am I anywhere near it? Not sure. Or watch one of the extra videos up here. Peace! Pretty gangster. Yep. I'll be on that TikTok soon. Definitely.